Moving on to UFC this weekend in Mexico for UFC Fight Night 78, Kelvin Gastelum against Neil Magny.
Yeah, and Magny moves up from this fight. He was originally supposed to face Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson in January, but he's now filling in for this card.
And this card is, famous, but it's got the tough Latin America 2 finals all the way down on the UFC Fight Pass.
Right. Well, I have the more important question than whether or not that's fair to the guys from the finale. I want to know, would you be more excited about this card if it was Matt Brown and Kelvin Gastelum, or do you like Neil Magny and Kelvin Gastelum better?
They're both good fights. I like Magny. He's on that winning streak again, so I think I'd prefer Matt Brown just because that fight, it'd be more intriguing. Magny stepping up on short notice, it loses some of the appeal, but still can be a good fight.
Now, what winning streak are you talking about? Because Magny has only won one fight in a row.
Yeah, but isn't he coming off like 6 or 7 wins in a row, having a loss, and he's back in his winning ways? Like, he's starting to rebuild that winning way.
Well, yeah, he won 7 in a row before he got choked out by Damian Maia.
Well, this is that first fight coming back. He's now back in the win column.
Well, it's his second fight since the loss to Maia. He beat Eric Silva in a split decision in his first fight back.
So I think he's back. Like, okay, so he's what, 8-1 in his last 9 fights?
Yeah, you can make that argument.
So I think he's still a fighter that Kelvin, hell, anyone in that division is not going to take lightly.
Honestly, if you're going to make that argument, though, you might as well say that Gastelum is 10-1 in his last 11 fights, because that's his record.
But Kelvin,
the only fight he lost was to T. Wood.
He'd better be ready to give up some of that purse money if he misses weight again.
Yeah, well, that's
Dolce diet.
No, I think even he is not going to deal with Kelvin Gastelum at this point. Yeah, he needs to make the welterweight limit for this fight, or I'm pretty much done with ever seeing him fight at welterweight again.
So who you got?
I'm reluctant to make this pick without seeing them step on the scales, but I'll go with Magny. I think Gastelum, I'm not completely sold on him. And yeah, he has a great record, 10-1 in 11 fights, but I don't know. It feels like Magny is at a level above him. That's all I can really tell you right now.
Yeah, same here. Ricardo Lamas against Diego Sanchez.
Now, unless Diego Sanchez gets some kind of Albuquerque Christmas gift here, I've got the bully all day.
Mm-hmm. Henry Cejudo against Husiar Formiga.
Once again, no question who wins this fight. Henry Cejudo should just take him down with ease and just humble him on the ground.
Yeah. It's one-sided butt-kicking time. Efren Escudero against Leandro Silva, sorry. I wrote it down
he's
wrong.
not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Damn, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, this is actually one of the more unpredictable fights on this card. I believe the bookmakers had the odds dead even on this one.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
So,
I'll go with Efren.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go with Efren too.
Prelims, let's see, Scott Jorgensen's on this card against Alejandro Perez.
Yeah, that might be his last chance. If he loses that fight, it might be curtains.
Eric Perez and Taylor Lapoulis. Interesting. Prelim for Fight Pass, talk about 2 tough Latin America 2 finals, and yeah. I mean, most of these, obviously they're in Mexico, so you got a lot of Latin fighters in here, and I'm assuming a couple of fighters that didn't make the finals. So I didn't watch the season, did you?
No, I did not.
I saw one, commercial, like, recap, like, coming up in this season, and there was something happened in one of the fights where the gym went silent, and I'm not gonna say it was an injury, but the way they were talking after the incident, it was like that could end someone's career. But, tune in on Fight Pass exclusive, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay.
Do you realize Jorgensen has only won 3 times in his last 9 fights?
Yikes.
Yeah, he's looking at getting cut if he loses on the prelims here. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it's sad we don't see Matt Brown here, but I'm just going over the rest of the notes. But there's one other note from this past weekend's UFC that was making the rounds in Media Row that I didn't really talk about because it was like a non-story because Dana White reboofed it right at the press conference afterwards. There was talk that Jose Aldo was injured and might not make his fight with Conor McGregor.
I doubt that.
Dana White was asked this at the press conference. He goes, "No, you're wrong. He's fine." Like, I haven't heard anything. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's still on. So, I hope to God that's not true because I really hope that this Aldo McGregor fight happens because, like, everyone in MMA wants to see this fight because that's going to be epic.
Did you notice they edited the commercial? They used the same one that they were using for UFC in July, only now they've managed to digitally wrap the interim title belt around Conor McGregor's waist in the commercial.
No.
Yes, same commercial, but now he's wearing the belt.
Oh, God. Are they cutting costs, or?
Well, it was such a perfect commercial, I can't blame them for reusing it.
And one last little note here, there was rumors Ronda Rousey might be changing fight camps because of the loss, and Dana White just came out and said, he doesn't think that's gonna happen. He basically just melted that story. What's on tap for Thursday night AMP?
I think we might have an interview, but I'll leave that up to Jordan.
There you go. I'm sure you're gonna talk about the passing of one of the all-time great wrestlers.
Yep, Nick Bockwinkel will be on the list, and Survivor Series. It's coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with the tournament. Yeah, another tournament, Stevie.
I know, too many tournaments. Enough with the tournaments. Although that was fun getting Ricci to compare the Ultimate Fighter tournament to the one-night tournament. He said he likes this format better. He said, I'd rather go back out there and have 3 fights in one night than have one fight every 3 days.
Yeah, the adrenaline dump isn't, yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Plus he believes it weeds out the weaker, lesser competitors to have to come back out there and be mentally prepared to have another fight in the same night. He may have a point.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely true. But we gotta wrap it up. So for Stevie J, I'm Peter H, a hardcore Canadian. Thanks for listening. As I always say, never leave it to the judges. Good night, everybody.
See ya.